Good evening everyone and welcome to League of Europe. It is F1 2019 Division 1 Round 13 here at the home of British Motorsport. It is of course Silverstone and I'm thrilled to be bringing you the action once again here tonight. For those of you tuning in and don't know me, I'm JamesHead14. I'm going to be taking you through the action once again here tonight at the home of British Motorsport, and what a day it has been for England today. England winning the semi-final against New Zealand in the rugby, and now we're here to round off the night, round off a brilliant day with the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, synonymous for corners like Luffield, like Stowe and like Maggott and Beckett as well. And I'm sure I will engage with the corners and the drivers out on track here tonight, and there can be a championship won tonight. Montana, 150 points available out of, well, 156 points available out of the remaining points that are on offer. So that means that Montana, if he gets the fastest lap here tonight and wins, championship is over and done with. He will take the title here tonight. Just want to correct that from a tweet that was put out on the League of Europe Twitter. It can happen tonight. And even if Waluigi finishes second, it doesn't stop Montana from winning the title. There's 156 points available, including the fastest lap. So Montana should win the title here tonight, and the Swiss man will be looking to emulate Harrison David, who won the title, of course, last season. Obviously, coming into tonight, Montana on 258 points, leading the way, with Rafa, recently retired driver in League of Europe for the last few races now. He's on 108 points, still in second. While Luigi has got a chance to go into second in the championship. He is 96 points, looking to break the 100 mark once again. He's in third, Cantera in fourth, and the Renault on 77, with the recently retired Harrison David in fifth on 76. And then we've got Neo, after a very disappointing Austrian Grand Prix last time out. He's on 69 points, hoping to put himself right up there at the top of the standings. Dakar in 7th on 64, then a Juma in 8th on 62, YHYY in 9th on 56, and then at ILRT Sterling in 10th on 53 points. Then Messina in 11th on 50, Bullet Boy on 47 and 12th, Xjari in 13th on 46, Wouters in 14th on 45th, another recently retired driver, and Rick rounding off the top 15 on 39 points. Larkin in 16th on 35 points, Killer Blue on 18, McEmery on 18, Kvyat Verstappen on 18, good to see him back here tonight as well, and Gary Donegan running off the top 20 on 16 points. There's still all to play for near the lower half of the grid. Of course, there is a real life qualifying session going to be happening very, very soon indeed, in about 15 minutes roughly in the UK here. I will get up on Twitter and I will give you regular updates on how the Mexican qualifying session is going. I will try and give you regular updates on that during the race. So it's almost as if I'm going to be doing a double commentary here tonight, one for Britain and one to give you updates on the Mexican Grand Prix qualifying. Let's see how you guys are interacting with the chat. Of course, if you do want to come in and say anything about the drivers, you want to give support to me, feel free to. I'm more than happy to check the comments on a regular basis. Good evening to Montana. It definitely can be won this week. I am pretty sure it can be won this week. 156 points available, even with the fastest laps. 156 points available. If there's 6 races left in the season, so that is why I'm working it out as the title that can be won here tonight. Unless my math is completely wrong, then forgive me, because honestly, I am pretty brain dead if I am working that out incorrectly. Yeah, dear me. Good evening to Bullet Boy as well, who has joined in. My connection is looking bad. Let's see how your connection's looking. It's on a 3 bar. It's not looking too bad. There will be little periods of instability, but it's not looking too bad on my end. And in fact, it's just gone up to 5 bar and then back down to 3 bar, so it's not too bad. Larkin coming in, Montana coming in and saying won it last week, James. So if he did, well done on that. failed to give you an interview for that. We'll try and catch up later on next week. I will be busy after this race. Unfortunately, Larkin coming in and saying my very small, nice run of form is going to come crashing down here. And he is a home driver, so how has Larkin been looking at in the last couple of races? 12th and 10th, 12 points, sorry, and 10 points picked up in the last 2 out of the last 3 races. He had a disconnect in Canada, but a good run of form, I've got to say, going on there, and a strong performance tonight could really put him up into the top 15 tonight, and I think certainly, providing that his connection is fine and providing that his pace is on point, he will be right up there, I imagine. It should be quite a close qualifying session here tonight, with this being the top tier of League of Europe. And I just want to address something that might have been going around a little bit within the Discord. I will be here next season. You're not getting rid of me that easily. I will be here next season. I will be committing to myself another season of League of Europe as your Division 1 commentator, and I will be taking a much more prominent role behind the scenes, helping out with the organisation of the league as well, and that is thanks to Mark on that. So you will be seeing me next season, and I just want to address anything that might have came about within the chat. I know a couple of people have been asking me behind the scenes, oh, but are you going to stay? Yes, I am. I'm going to be here for another season of League of Europe, which is fantastic. And I can't wait to commentate on this race, first of all. Everyone very happy about that news, I think. Big money contract. No, definitely not a big money contract. I'm sadly doing this for free still. But yeah, let's crack on. We are here at Silverstone, of course, and for those of you tuning in and don't know this track at all, Silverstone, obviously one of the prime tracks on the F1 calendar. 18 corners for the to delve into tonight. There are 2 DRS zones, one down the Wellington Straight between turn 5 and turn 6, and then the other one is down to Stowe between turns 14 and 15. That is on the exit of Beckett, down onto the Hanger Straight and down into Stowe. That's where the second DRS zone actually is on this track. And normally there are soft, mediums and hards available. Softs, mediums and hards are again available. Good to see a few new drivers here actually tonight. LTU Tom is a notable one. I've been testing him out recently for TTL F2. Last night, in fact, I tested him out. So it's good to see the Lithuanian here, as well as Spine FL. Now, I'm sorry, Spine, I don't know that much about you, but hopefully I will be able to pick up on who Spine is and what his pace is like during this session. Montana not coming out first out on track, which is a bit of a shock. Larkin is just coming out the pit lane, as well as Kooky Games, who's going to be first out on track. And that is, in fact, Kooky Games that is first out on track. So the Slovenian out on track first. And that means, have we got game sound? Just want to check. Oh, we have got game sound. We haven't got game sound, which is absolutely fantastic. It's the first time that has happened in quite a while for me, actually. Right, I'm going to jump out the lobby and I'm going to fix this issue while this is happening. I do apologise about this little bit of a moment in the thingy. It's good how you have no game sound. The commentator was coming through, but there was no engine sound at all coming through, so I do apologise about that, which means the stream is on a little bit of a hiatus here. I do need another invite. If I can be so kind and get another invite, that'll be much appreciated, because I don't think I'm able to join any other invite, and I haven't been given any backups either, so this is going to be quite fun. You can see the F1 screen for a little while I wait for the invite to come through. Hopefully there is an invite that is actually given through and we can continue streaming on with this race. I do apologise. Obviously engine sound, they still haven't fixed the glitch. It's been months now since this game has been released. It's been, what, 4 months now this game has been released, and now the engine sound still not working and there's still a glitch on that front. So hopefully I'm able to get an invite out very soon. Montana actually coming in and saying that rain at the end of the race or mid-race, which could be quite interesting. This should be, that throws a bit of a spanner into the works, I've got to be honest, in terms of the strategy, especially in the race. Do drivers decide to go on the medium compound of tyres? Do drivers decide to go on a soft compound of tyre and hope for the rain to come middle of the race? Remains to be seen. If you're just tuning in, and I know quite a few of you are now beginning to tune in, yeah, my engine sounds were not working and I'm waiting for an invite at the minute, so this is going to be a bit tedious. I just need another invite. If that can be given out, that'll be much appreciated. Hopefully we will get into qualifying very soon indeed. I'm about as clueless as to what's happening as all of you who are watching, and maybe there's just one or two drivers out there that could possibly give me an invite out. Have you invited me? I have not received any invites, which is a strange thing here. I've not received any invites at all. Unless there's some issue going on possibly with PSN. This is strange. This is very, very strange. It definitely didn't go through. Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. I do obviously apologise for these issues that have occurred. Engine sound, obviously, thingy. Join through a friend, I could, but I think it's an invite-only session. That's the only problem. I haven't got anybody in the party with me either, which is a bit of a shame, because I could have done that. Let me have a look and see if I can just go through my friends list and join the session, possibly. When it loads. Apologies about the blue screen. Goodness me. Oh, come on. Come on. It's literally the most tedious thing in the world, this. Honestly, I do apologise. There's no invites being given out to me at all, and I haven't received any. We're saved. We are saved. I do apologise about those 5 viewers who have now tuned out. Giving me a few problems there. We're back in. Into spectate mode we go. We've just got to wait for the names to load up now, which is a bit of a shame. And then we're back into thingy. Well, thank you so much, Rick, for giving me that. We're about 6 minutes through qualifying. I will give you an update on how qualifying is going as soon as these names come up. The game obviously not working with me at all, and a good backup invite given up there as well. Montana says the stream is dead. No, the stream is here. The stream is definitely here. It might have just lagged a little bit, which is probably why my invites were coming through a bit slow, so I do apologise about that, but hopefully we're going to be ongoing for the rest of the race. So, for those of you who are tuning in, I'll just may remind you, Montana has already won the championship, 258 points he is on. He will add to his tally obviously here tonight, providing that he does finish. Well, Luigi in third place at the minute on 96 points, the Belgian, hopefully looking to continue his good run of form, second in Japan, and then his fourth last time out in Austria. Hopefully that will be a good performance from Waluigi here tonight. The names will load eventually. They take about 2 minutes to load, which is absolutely beyond me. So, yeah, you're stuck on the lobby screen at the minute, I'm afraid. There's a lot of comments coming through. Yeah. Cantera in 4th on 77 points. I'm just running through the standings once again. Neo in 6th on 69. Dakar in 7th on 64. Duman 8th on 62. YHYY on 56. And Sterling in 10th on 53 points, with Messina just in behind, and Bullet Boy as well on 47 points as well. When are the names gonna load? Come on! This is an absolute joke, this is. Goodness me. I swear to God. I'm gonna lose my mind, finally. There we go, at last. You guys are gonna see some on-track action. I do apologise, this is absolutely ridiculous, this. It is absolutely ridiculous, really. Oh my God. It may be Cody's servers. Yeah, Cody's servers could be going down. I know they've been releasing a patch out for Grid coming up. So, Doom is already out the session. Beautiful engine sounds I can hear. So, Doom out the session, and quite a mix-up so far in qualifying. We're nearly halfway through in qualifying. This is the first on-track action you've seen in this qualifying session. So Spine FL out on top with a 126.4. He's 1,000th ahead of Chapelelli, who was just on an outlap coming through the exit of Beckett and onto the hangar straight. That second DRS zone that I was on about. LTU Tom debutants as well, alongside Spine. They're both in the Haas, and they're both first and third at this stage. 26.4 from Tom. Dakar in fourth on 26.5. He's just coming out of the pits. Montana is out on an out lap on 26.6. He's in fifth currently. Neo has just jumped into sixth there on a 26.9. Montana in fifth, I may add. Cookie Games in 7th on 26.9, Verstappen in 8th on 26.9, YHYY in 9th on 27.2, and Waluigi with a 27.9. Let's pick up then on somebody that is on a lap, and let's pick up then with Rick, who is just coming through the middle sector. And thank you to Rick for giving me those backup invites as well. Running a little bit wide at Luffield, but that's to prioritise the run off Luffield and now through Bentley and now into Cops Corner, which is at the right hand side here. Dakar just getting out of the way on his outlap. Good sportsmanship shown there. Rick on a set of medium compound of tyres. They are the middle of the 3 compound of tyres available, but with rain during the race, I think you have to go on a set of softs, maybe on a set of mediums to begin off qualifying with. We are halfway through. Spine, Schiaparelli, Tom, your current top 3. Rick just taking too much curve there, 104.4 through the middle sector, as he now runs down the straight, down towards Stowe, down the Hanger straight, and now down towards Stowe, and then into Vale and Club to finish off the lap. So Rick through, and I think he took too much curb and he's realised that, and he's coming back into the pit. So that was a clear invalidation that we saw. Oh, when Bullet Boy is off, that looks like it's at Luffield. Bullet Boy is off track. Schiaparelli up in the meantime by a tenth of a second even. He's now coming through the final couple of corners, and he looks like he's going to go pole with this lap. McLaren just coming out ahead of him, which is V5HRL. Across the line goes Schiaparelli, 26.2 from VRT Schiaparelli. And Schiaparelli, of course, I have been commentating, actually, I do believe, on VRT in the Mini League on Wednesday. So that was a bit of a thrill to commentate on Vortex Racing, of course. And Schiaparelli goes to the top of the timing screens with a 26.2. Let's see if Montana is on a lap. He is. Not looking as quick, I've got to be honest, as what we've seen him so far this season. There's a Sauber ahead of him, and went very, very wide there on the exit of Stowe. And again, there's a Sauber round and an Alfa Romeo round in the background. That must be Bullet Boy once again. He's the only Alfa Romeo out on track. In fact, he's the only Alfa Romeo here as well. Dakar on a lap in the meantime, coming through Maggots and Beckett, really attacking this section. Very nicely there from Dakar, just rubs on the grass slightly. But a 1 or 2.8 through the middle sector, 600ths off his lap. He could find some improvement here through the final sector and through the final couple of corners. Through Stowe he goes now on the exit, looking very nice. And then Dakar now down into Vale and Club to end off the lap through 16. Then into 17, double right-hander turned off the lap, and looks like he might have just invalidated here actually. Dakar across the line, yeah, he must have invalidated towards the end of the lap. The Scotsman still remains in P4. Cookie Games is into the pits. Neo, I think, might be on a lap here, the German. Let's see how he gets on. He's run very wide there at Stowe, he's back into the pits. Typical when I go on board with somebody. Verstappen coming across the line now, improves ahead of Neo, 26.932, goes 200ths ahead of the German, so the Dutchman goes into 7th place for the QVR team. YHYY not on a lap. Larkin is coming through the first sector, just trying to pick up on somebody that might be actually on a lap. We'll go back on board then with Larkin, as Bullet Boy has left the session. His connection, obviously, he was concerned about that, and it's now Bullet Boy that requires an invite from whoever is running the session. Obviously Larkin or anybody else, I could give him an invite to get him back in. That would be brilliant. Larkin then through Maggots and Beckett. In the meantime, in the Racing Point, really attacking that, just taking a bit too much curve on the exit through Beckett. 4/10 down through the middle sectors. Don't think he's going to improve on this lap. I have a feeling he might be coming into the pits actually. Larkin through the final couple of corners, through Stowe he goes. He is going to come into the pit, so he bails into the pit. Not happy with that lap. We'll go on board then with Cantera, who I think has actually invalidated this lap, the Spaniard. He's on a low fuel run as well by the looks of it. And so Cantera, Rick, Killer Blue and Bullet Boy still yet to set any sort of time at the minute. Joom out the session. I'm not sure what happened to Joom. If I can get some reaction from him in Discord, that'll be fantastic. I'm not sure what happened to him in qualifying. If anybody else can give me what occurred to Cantera. Cantera is now coming into the pit, so there's not really much happening out on track. LTU Tom though, in the meantime, he is at nearly 2 tenths up through the middle sector. He's now on the run down towards Stowe. And Montana coming in and saying Doom, he thinks he crashed at Stowe. So thank you very much to that. Not gonna lie, I don't feel I should race. It might be affecting a lot of people as LTU Tom is into the pits. So Verstappen then, who was on a lap. He looks like he's going for another run here actually, the Dutchman. He's the only really one out on track. Neil's coming through Copse. Verstappen's the only one out on track with 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Schiaparelli out on top, Spine in second, Tom in third, Dakar fourth, Montana rounding off the top five. Cookie Games, Verstappen, Neil, YHYY, Larkin. Then it is V5HRL, Gary Donegan, Newell Ouija, Cantera, Rick, Killer Blue, Bullet Boy. They're still in the session. Doom obviously crashing out early and crashing out when we had all of those glitches and problems, which I do of course apologise for. We're on board then with Neil, the German, about to start a lap here on the racing point. And he is coming through Vale and into Club now. There's Vale, and he's now into the Club section, 17 and 18. Round off the lap, and now to begin a lap. Neil set about. Let's ride on board with him for the duration of this lap. Through turn 1. Can take this flat out now. Beautiful through that. Now through turn 2. Into the village section. Through turn 3 and then into entry at turn 4. And on the exit of the Wellington Straight onto turn 5. The entrance into the Wellington Straight in turn 5 comes through the DRS zone. Dakar on the left hand side of the track. Could have picked up a little bit of slipstream there, but Neo on a lap. 27 flat through the first sector. 2 tenths up through the first sector. Now through Brooklands and now through this very tricky off-camber corner at Luffield. Really has to get the car fighting the grip through the corner, and Neo now on the run down towards Copse. Of course, former old pit straight. Neil now through Copse, taking it very nicely. Off the old turn 1, now through Maggots and Beckett's, turns 2, 3. MotoGP still run this layout of the track, the old layout. Neil now through Maggots and Beckett onto the Hangar Straight. There's a car going slow ahead of him. Not sure if he's had that off, whoever is ahead of him. Neil though, 5 tenths up, and that is Larkin ahead. Larkin ahead, just giving a bit of a toll there. Not the first time I've seen that in League of Europe, especially from the Spaniards. Neil's ran wide there on the exit of Stowe. Really attacks that. Doesn't take a gear up. Coming into Club and into Vale and then into Club. What's this lap like? Oh, and he goes top. 26.1 from Neil. That is a fantastic lap from the German. And he goes to the top and beats his compadre for now. But there's a lot going to be happening in the next minute and a half. Hopefully you've all geared down to your seats because there's going to be a lot happening here. Cookie Games is off a lap. Dakar is coming through into turn 1. I think Larkin might be on a lap just ahead. Yeah, Larkin is on a lap. He's got Neil now repaying the favour just ahead of him. So Neil, pretty much that is his session done. Larkin, oh, he's on an out lap. I thought he was on a, oh, that's a bit of a shame. That is a bit of a shame, that. Let's try and pick up on somebody that is on a lap then. I think Dakar might have been on one. He's just coming through Luffield, on the exit of Luffield, now into Copse, which will be the next corner up. Neil gets out of the way there. Dakar then, Scotsman through Copse, the all turn 1. Really attacks that. Pretty much didn't really lift off the throttle there, so that was very good commitment from Dakar. He is on a lap here, the Scotsman. Really attacks the first part through Maggots. Now into Beckett. Obviously he's going to try and get down a few gears to the line. 102.7. He's 500s up through the middle sector. It's not going to be enough to challenge the likes of Tom and Spine. But you never know. He sets up a good couple of corners here. He could be on for P3 maybe in qualifying provisional. With still 20 seconds to go, there's going to be a lot of action happening. Dakar then through the final couple of corners, just right into the curb a little bit too much, but on the run to the line now, Dakar is going to set a 126.4, and he does go third, so he finds a little bit more time in that final sector. We have got other drivers on a lap as well. Let's try and pick up on somebody that is through the final sector. Rick coming through the final couple of corners now, through Club. He comes across the line to set 28.2. Disappointing that, I think, from Rick. He's only 2 seconds off Neo. Shouldn't be too disheartened at that. Cantera on a lap, Killer Blue on a lap, just coming through the same section. V5HRL, 3 tenths up, coming through Stowe. Right to the grass slightly, takes the curb out, and he comes into the pit. So he must have had picked up an invalidation there. So V5HRL not happy with something. He's into the pits, 27.4. Larkin is on a lap. Let's try and pick up on somebody then. He was through the final sector. Tom, through the final couple of corners. He's only a 10th up through the final couple of corners and he goes third. 26.3. The Lithuanian driver just goes ahead of Daka. Bit of an improvement there. I think that might have been from Kuki Games, who I think has just gone 8th there. So Kuki Games, in fact, is just through the final couple of corners. So I do apologise. I'm not sure who's moved up. It's Bullet Boy up to 7th, but he's just been better by Kuki Games, who finds the time through that final sector. Here's Montana. Oh, Montana steals it very late on. 26.1, and Spine steals it with a 26 flat, and he goes a 10th and a half quicker, and Ciappelelli with a 25.9. What on earth is that? That is unbelievable. In the space of 5 seconds or so, we have seen provisional pole position change 3 times. Montana with a 26.1, then followed up by Spine with a 26 flat, and then by Ciappelelli with a 25.9. Bang, bang, bang. 3 shots to the heart there. Ciappelelli has got pole position right at the end of qualifying from Spine, and Montana rounds off the top 3. Neo in 4th, and Cantero putting together a good lap in the end, going into 5th. What a dramatic end. I said it was going to be hectic at the end of qualifying. By God, it was as well. Here's the full rundown of the order then, as I get a bit of XP. Do appreciate that. Ciappelelli steals it, 900th of a second, puts it together right at the death. Spine goes ahead of his fellow compadre, the Swissman, ahead of his fellow Swissman, 2nd and 3rd. Spine and Montana. Neo in 4th, with Cantera rounding off the top 5. Tom, Daka, Kuki Games, Bullet Boy and Verstappen. Good qualifying from them two, I think. And Kuki Games as well, 8th, 9th and 10th. YHYY, Larkin, V5 Travel, New Luigi, Killer Blue, Gary Donegan, Rick and Doom. The only one not to set a time. He has to come right from the back. But it's something we've seen him do before this season. And I do believe that was in Hungary all that time ago. But we are now geared up for the race. This is it. We are now geared up for League Division 1. It is blue sky. Whether that stays the same remains to be seen. Of course, we are in Britain. The weather is unpredictable. It has been absolutely freezing here in real life. And hopefully we're going to be getting nice, warm, cosy by the fire. It is that time of year coming up where Christmas is looming. We're going to get warm by the fire. And hopefully have a nice cup of tea with me to take us through the action here tonight. Let's have a look and see what you guys have been saying in the comments section. Let's get a Swiss 1-2, says Montana. Will be a first time in league racing that happens. Spine also coming in not in the rain, never driven in the rain before. That's a bit of a... If you haven't driven in the rain before, then that is a bit of a concern for me, and especially for other drivers out on track. Hopefully it's fine. Just remember, don't apply too much power. If you are in the wet, don't apply too much power, because you're just going to inevitably spin around the car, and then obviously that is your race ended pretty much if it does start to rain out on track. Also coming in and saying, Spine saying he's got a full dry setup, and Montana is running a kind of wet setup as well. Everyone then on to the start of the formation lap. Top 10 obviously qualifying on set soft compound of tyres, so they stay as they are. Pretty much everyone, apart from V5HRL, going on the medium compound of tyres. That's YHYY, Larkin, Luigi, Killer Blue, Gary Donegan, Rick and Doom all on set mediums. V5HRL looking to make eye-catching progress through the first half of this race, and that is he's on a set of soft compound of tyres. So how is this race going to pan out? How do I feel this race is going to pan out? I honestly think if Ciappelelli gets a clean start away, his Bullet Boy has left the session again. He's disconnected out the session. Might be for his own good and maybe for the driver's own sake as well, that he's left, but will remain to be seen. Ciappelelli, if he gets the break early on, if he goes into village section and down to the Wellington straight with about 4/10 lead, I can see him probably retaining the lead until the first round of pit stops. Spine in second. Montana, obviously if he gets a good jump off the line, he's going to be a big favourite to try and take the lead on to the end of lap 1. Meant to be seen how he's going to get on. Neo and Cantera as well. It's going to be very close. Throwing the likes of LTU Tom, throwing the likes of Daka, and then you could have a real ridiculous lap 1. This could be very exciting indeed. This could be really exciting indeed for Silverstone. And I have commentated on plenty of races around here before. None of them have been too boring. One of them was absolutely brilliant that I watched that I commentated on about a year ago, I think now it is, but honestly, such good fun. Schiaparelli and Spine then come to the front of the grid to join up. Doom is also on the grid as well. Just see where Bullet Boy's AI car is. He's just coming through club now, so we'll wait for the AI car to come into shot. Beautiful shot down camera angle. We'll take that one instead. 26 laps. And 18 drivers about to do battle here at the home of British Motorsport. Get ready, because it's going to be a hectic race. 5 red lights about to go out here at Silverstone for round 13. It is lights out and away we go, and Schiaparelli gets a very good start from the line. Spine on the inside line. Montana not too shabby away either. Neo in the background as well. Camera cuts away. Little bit of quite a few positions being lost there. V5 and Verstappen. I think Gary Donegan, in fact. Bullet Boy's AI has got away with the field. There's a spinner in the background that looked like Larkin getting caught on the inside curb. Montana trying to lunge it down the inside of Spine, but Schiaparelli, as I predicted, has got the break by about 0.4 of a second coming down the Wellington Straight and now into Brooklands for the first time. The German leads from Spine in second, Montana third, Neo in fourth, Cantera and Tom going side by side coming through Luffield. Tom trying to take the outside line to try and get back on the inside. Montana a little bit slow away, and that little bit of a wet setup I think might be costing him, as Cantera now tries to get past Neo down the straight. There was side by side in the background, but that was Verstappen and Bullet Boy, and Schiaparelli 3.5 tenths leads the way. V5 obviously caught up in some sort of incident through the first couple of corners. Not sure if that was contact with Gary Donegan or if that was just a spin by himself. He was losing a few positions early on, but Schiaparelli running down the Hangar Straight leads the way, but Spine getting a really good exit out of Beckett, now down into Stowe, tries to take the inside line into the corner. Schiaparelli covers it off around the outside and keeps the lead of the race for now. Montana and Neo very close in behind as well. Let's see the position changes towards the end of lap 1, while Luigi is getting 4 positions. Good for his championship hopes. Doom is also getting 4 positions, and in fact he's just came into the pits. As soon as I've said that, he's into the pits. Schiaparelli then at the end of lap 1 leads the way, but the 2 Swiss men are chasing him. The German against the Swiss currently here in Britain. A little bit of grass being taken up there. I think that might have been from LTU Tom, who's down in 6. Killer Blue and Bullet Boys AI obviously going at it. Will not go on board with that because it's pointless riding on board with an AI car battling a human car. So Schiaparelli running down the Hangar Straight, running down the Wellington Straight for the second time, leads the way. Spine once again getting very close. This full dry setup seems to be working so far. Let's see how he copes as Verstappen and Waluigi getting going. And Verstappen, in fact, down the inside, that must have been at Brooklands, and he's got the move done. Waluigi just locks up slightly. Killer Blue and Rick have also gained positions as a result of Doom coming into the pits. All very concentrated and very close early on. Schiaparelli leads, Spine in second. There's no real gaps from 11th. There's no real gaps that at a second. Cookie Games, I think, is round in the background. Just might have seen that in the background of shots. He's lost it through Cops, and he recovers the car and he's down back in 16th position. But luckily Cookie Games has got that going once again, as we'll cut back on board then with the battle for the lead. Spine again closing up on Schiaparelli, but this is looking very close, and hopefully this is going to be how it is throughout the whole of the race. Larkin obviously getting past Bullet Boy's AI car. Top 4 beginning to pull away slightly. Schiaparelli leads at the end of lap 2. Spine in second. Montana in third with Neo in fourth. Cantera just a little way off. About 8 tenths off down there in 5th position. Tom in 6th, Dakar in 7th. The top 7 have stayed as they are pretty much from the outset. YHYY is up 3 positions in 8th. Verstappen in 9th. And Waluigi filling out the top the top 10. Do apologise about the coughing, and it is already starting to come with a little bit cloudier through the village section as they go. Schiaparelli now 6 tenths has pulled away through that section. Spine obviously looking like he's got more of a straight line speed setup, I think. Montana now trying to get past his fellow countryman. Neo right in the background as well. Through the field once again they go, towards the middle way through lap 3. And Schiaparelli still leads the way. Spine in second. No real moves going on further in behind either. So very close, very concentrated, and the gap from pretty much 1st to 14 separated by less than 10 seconds. Fantastic stuff so far out on track. Schiaparelli, Spine, Montana, your current top 3 with Neo in 4th, Cantera 5th, Tom in 6th, Dakar in 7th, YHYY Verstappen, and Waluigi still going at it. Montana just breezes across the grass a little bit there. Schiaparelli now vulnerable to Spine. Don't think the straight is long enough for Spine to try and eye up a move here into Stoll. Schiaparelli taking the inside line regardless, and he keeps that position. Verstappen getting close to YHYY though in the meantime. The Dutchman chasing down, and Rick has gone round the outside. In fact, that is into Stoll. Just in the background of shot we saw that. Rick has got the move done on Killer Blue. Right around the outside into Stoll, and battles the inside line, defends that inside line through Vale and into Club. And Rick has got through and he's up to P11. Verstappen though chasing down the other Toro Rosso and gets a beautiful one out of turn 1. Was nearly side by side with him actually on the exit of turn 1 and into turn 2. But Schiaparelli holding on out in front, Spine in second, Montana third. They're just going to pretty much stay as they are, I think. We'll keep on board then with Verstappen, who is chasing down YHYY and trying to size up a move here. Gets a very good run down the inside. It should already be moved done down into Brooklands here. The Dutchman on the inside line. YHYY gives him space to Finn, and I tell you what, he's defended this brilliantly if he can pull it off. YHYY defends that brilliantly down the inside into Luffield, and side by side down to Cops between Montana and Spine. Spine around the outside, Montana hands it down the inside, great move. Montana picks up second position. Spine must have had a poor run out of Brooklands. Out of Luffield, I should say, and that has capitalised Montana into getting that move done, and now Montana begins to hunt down the German ahead. Little bit of a moment in the back there from Cantera, just breathing across the grass a little bit. Schiaparelli now getting hunted down by Montana. Montana switches to the inside, decides to go for the move down the inside, the Swiss man on the German. Very close. Schiaparelli still keeps it. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2 and Sector 3. I have a feeling that is Kooky Games once again. After a good qualifying. Oh, Kooky Games retired from the session. Schiaparelli and Montana. Montana losing the back end. Goodness me. It's almost like Tokyo drifting there out on track. And it's now Schiaparelli who has a bit of more of a break. 7/10 leading the way. Montana second. Cantera the right on the back of Neo. Down the inside he goes into the village section. That is a phenomenal move down the inside. I don't really think I've seen a move pulled up there before. Neil trying to fight that back. They're side by side coming out, and in fact Dakar and Thomas side by side coming out, and Neil was round. Neil gets caught on the inside. I think he was trying to fight for the position. Don't think it was his position to try and fight for. Of course the stewards will have to have a look into that after the race. But Schiaparelli leads 7/10 of a second. Montana in second. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3, which can only assume it is Doom who is off. And it is Doom that is off. I've just seen the timing screens change there. Quite a lot of action here at Silverstone. Schiaparelli leads the way. Montana second. Spine in third. And now that gap has been split as Cantera is round. Cantera is round. That is on the right-hand side. We'll go on board with Rick to see where he is. A VSC has been deployed. There he is on the right-hand side. He's lost it through Cops. He took too much of the outside curve and onto the AstroTurf he goes, and Cantera is out of the race, and the Spaniard disappoints here tonight. An unfortunate DNF for him. He's the second one out of the race as Schiaparelli leads the way, but Montana is right on the back of him, and Montana, Jesus, I thought he was going to come in the pits there. Got to make sure that they stick to their delta times here. And Schiaparelli leads the way by 9/10 of a second. Montana second. Spine in third. Tom in fourth. Dakar in fifth. Larkin has got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. Obviously that was with the delta time. Rain looks like it's going to be coming very soon. The DRS has been enabled once again. But the cloud cover beginning to develop. And maybe spots of rain. That'll be the second time in 2 nights I've commentated on a race that is pretty much dries to wets. So I was commentating on Austria last night in TTFL. That was Schiaparelli. Montana trying to aim it down the inside. Not quite. Schiaparelli holds firm and holds on to the lead. Verstappen again. Pretty much his favourite corner. YHYY back again on the inside. Verstappen trying to get the switch back through Luffield. YHYY once again covers him off and defends the position well. It's now going to be side by side. Down into Cobb. Verstappen making sure he gets that car half alongside. Half commits it. There is rain out on track. It has started to rain out on track, and Schiaparelli has lost the lead of the race through Maggots and Beckett. Suddenly the rain has came a lot earlier, I think, than what people were expecting. So the rain now starting to fall. Let's see how this impacts on the race. Are we going to go to intermediate soon? The crossover period might be a couple of laps away just yet. Might be still lap 9, lap 10, I'm thinking maybe. As Montana is not coming into the pit. YHYY and Verstappen again go side by side on the exit of Stoll. YHYY defending that firm and Verstappen giving him plenty of room. But the rain now coming down here in Silverstone. It's typical British weather now. Montana leads the way. Schiaparelli in second. Larkin is into the pits. Is this a bit of a punt maybe from Larkin to come into the pits and go for a set of inters? It's too early, I think, for a set of inters. Let's see how this is going to pan out. Verstappen is through on YHYY further up the field. Larkin into the pits. His pit crew is ready for him, I think. Must be ready for him. And that is a set of softs going on for Larkin. So a set of softs going on for Larkin. Bit of a change. Oh, that's a set of mediums. That's a joke. Larkin out of the pits. And a set of medium compound of tyres. So he is out of the pits. As Doom is round once again in the third sector. But now with the rain starting to fall, the softs are going to be obviously operating at a much colder temperature here. Which means the medium and the hard runners, well, medium runners, are going to be coming into play. So you should be seeing the field slightly condense up a little bit. But Montana, after seemingly getting the move done, I didn't see the move for the lead get done, but Montana has got the lead. Schiaparelli is in second, Spine is in third, Tom is in fourth. As well, Ouija is through on YHYY, he was taking an off through the gravel. That is through midway through Maggots and Beckett, that is. Might have been side by side, I feel, going through there. Hopefully he has a bit of common sense and let some of these drivers through. He has got Killer Blue right on the back of him, and everyone is into the pit. Schiaparelli has picked up a 5-second time penalty for spinning in the pit lane. Montana feels it is too early for inters. I feel it is too early for inters as well, but no, it's not. DRS has been disabled. There is spray being kicked up. Doom is retired out of the race. A shame for the Spaniard. Everyone filtering into the pits, which means Montana and Dakar have now got to produce the lap of their lives in changing conditions, which means Schiaparelli essentially is going to be in net P1. Everyone, of course, going on to a set of intermediate compound of tyres. We should be seeing that all change to the green wall intermediates. So Montana leads coming out, Schiaparelli, sorry, leads the whole field coming out of the pits. Everyone in for a set of inters, which means there's a little bit of break in the action, which means I can check the comment section, see how you guys have been enjoying the race so far here in Silverstone. Pretty hectic so far, a lot of action and a lot to think about now with the tyres and with the condition changing. Let's have a look. Larkin's in. I don't know how I got a drive-through penalty, never saw red at all, says Larkin. Not sure if there might have been a bit of a desync on my end, maybe, I don't know. Bullet Boy saying he did lag out as well, but of course we thank him for attending anyways. And his AI is into the pit and he's in 14th position as well. But let's take a little bit of a breather. Montana leads the way. Dakar in second. These two guys are going to be pitting, and look at how Schiaparelli has closed up on Dakar already. That was 23 seconds out of the pit. 17 seconds now, and Schiaparelli clearly closing in, and it's definitely enters. Montana crashes into the DRS detection, the pit lane board coming into the pit lane. Dakar doesn't get it slowed down either as well, both picking up 5-second penalties. So Montana then into the pits, and the Mercedes of Dakar into the pits, which means Schiaparelli leads the way out on track, with Spine in second, Verstappen in third. And I think the case of Montana and Dakar, don't listen to me, listen to Jeff. I think that's the main lesson they can take out of that. Schiaparelli though leads the way. Everyone now quite evenly spaced out. There is a battle going on further down the field though in the meantime. This is for P11 and P12 out on track. YHYY, who must have had a bit of front wing damage or something, because he's right behind Verstappen before the pit lanes actually happened. Of course, he had that moment, I remember, yeah. So YHYY had that moment through Maggots and Beckett, so that's why he's down behind Killer Blue. But Schiaparelli leads the way, 1.3 seconds. Spine in second, Verstappen in third, Montana in fourth, Waluigi fifth, Tom in sixth, Dakar seventh, Rick in eighth, Gary Donegan now in ninth, and Neil in 10th. Let's see how the positions have changed. 9 gain for Waluigi, 7 gain for Verstappen, 9 for Rick, 7 for Gary Donegan, and 4 for Killer Blue. Doom also gained 2 positions, and he's DNF'd, of course, out of the race. Everyone else has either stayed neutral or have lost 1, 2, in the case of Neil, 6 positions, which is a shame, but he's right on the back now of Gary Donegan. So the German right on the back of the Brit. Gary Donegan under pressure now from the racing point. Neil getting closer. This should be quite easy, looking like a manoeuvre. The rain coming down quite heavy now out on track. Obviously the set of inters going to be working overtime. We approach lap 10 and we slowly approach the halfway stage here in Silverstone. Still Ciappelletti that leads, Spine in second. Montana trying to close in on Verstappen. In the meantime, Neo closing in on Gary Donegan. Of course, this has to be done the old-fashioned way. As we see a bit of lag now starting to happen, a little bit of intermittent lag. Neo now trying to go down the inside of Gary Donegan, maybe. Not quite close enough for the move there. Ciappelletti will on to lap 10. Spine into second, Verstappen third, Montana fourth. Neil though chasing down Gary Donegan. Into turn 1 they go. And the Brit under pressure. And the homeboy under pressure from the German here. Neo definitely closing in on him, right on the gearbox of him, nearly coming into the village section through entry and now through onto the Wellington straight once again. Of course, this is the traditional international layout of the straight on the international layout of the British touring cars, of course, which has ended this season. Colin Turkington taking it very dramatically in the last race there, but Ciappelletti leads the way. They go onto the old pit straight once again. Neil and Gary Donegan. Neil looking like he could size up a move here down into Copse. Wouldn't try it though in these conditions, if I've got to be honest. And wise to the occasion, Neo backs out of it and possibly could size up and move down the hangar straight. But Ciappelletti still leads. There's been no position changes for a few laps now. Everyone on a set of inters, locking right down on the back of the field. I wonder what happens if Bullet Boy comes back into the section. His AI is down in 14th position. Neo again closing in, not quite. We're going forward then with the battle for 4th. Battle for 3rd actually, between Verstappen and Montana. Montana obviously closing in, Swiss man on the Dutchman. Verstappen, the Kvyat against NSX Montana. Right in behind. Oh, Verstappen has a bit of a moment. Not sure what happened there. Actually, I think he's just overshot through turn 1. May have taken a bit too much curb. Trying to recover it, but he's obviously recovered it and taken a straight line across turn 2. Might have picked up a warning for that as well, but Montana is through now into P3. Go back on board them and Neo, right on the back of Gary Donegan. 9th and 10th, of course. This is not for the final point out on track. Of course, we do go down to 12th position out on track in League of Europe. Neil just overrunning the curb a little bit slightly. Gary Donegan taking a much neater line. Neil closing in down the straight, not close enough. Ciappelletti though leads the way 1.4 seconds. Gary Donegan just going a little bit deep down, a bit too deep now into Luffield. Trying to prioritise the run and the traction out of Luffield, and he does just about. Hold on, but Neo, beautiful traction off the corner. That is a beautiful move. Very rare you see a move pulled off so easily like that in wet conditions. Neo has got the move done and he's up to P9. The full traction off the corner, just making sure he gets that off the corner and make sure that is very easy pulled off. So Neo up to 9th. Beautifully crisp move. Gary Donegan just picking up a 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings. A little bit of a corner cut over the curb. Do apologise, I am struggling with my voice a little bit. I haven't got a drink with me either, which is great. Ciappelletti leads the way. Spine in second, Montana third, Verstappen fourth, Luigi in fifth. Tom in sixth on his debut, doing well. Daka seventh, Rick in eighth, Neo in ninth, Gary Donegan in 10th, Killer Blue YHYY, V5HRL, Bullet Boy, and then Larkin down in 15th position. Of course, he is actually in 14th because Bullet Boy's AI car is still going around out on track. Spine getting closer to Ciappelletti though in the meantime. There's not really much happening out on track, to be honest. Everyone within the main battles that are out on track, anywhere between 6/10 and maybe even a second in the case of Waluigi, who's closing in on Verstappen. Both of them impressing so far. Rick also impressing so far from 17th up to 8th. So good performance from him so far, the Finn. Of course, our lobby host as well. Not our lobby host, that was Larkin, of course, our lobby host. But Schiaparelli still leads the way. Spine in second, Montana in third, Verstappen in fourth, and then Luigi in fifth is trying to hunt him down. But the battle for the lead now heating up. Spine, who doesn't drive in wet conditions, is beginning to pressurise Schiaparelli a little bit, and he's closing in on him nicely. About 5.5 seconds towards the end of the straight here, down the Hangar straight. Now into Stowe, and Schiaparelli and Spine once again. V5HOL picks up a 3-second time penalty further down the field. Let's just have a look, see in the thingy, where does Montana need to finish to win the championship? Montana has already won the championship. It's just being completely not at one with each other. So I will confirm that now. Montana has already won the championship, which means he's sealed. He's in third. He's 2.6 seconds off the lead. He can still win this, of course. Don't think Silverstone in wet conditions is probably his forte. But Spine giving Schiaparelli something to think about here out in front. Halfway through here in Silverstone, Schiaparelli leads, Spine in second, Montana third, Verstappen fourth, Luigi in fifth, Tom in sixth, Daka seventh. No real changes to the order I can't see either. So, pretty much sit back, relax and enjoy what is going to be happening out on track. Tom has picked up a 3-second time penalty further down the field, while Luigi closing in on Verstappen. As Spine tries to close in on Schiaparelli once again. Schiaparelli always prioritises that run though, out of Brooklands and then into Luffield. Gets the run out of Luffield and actually pulls away from him in that section of corners. Montana is hunting down now though. He's on a nice lap here, 74% of EOS coming into Maggots and Beckett. Spine is looking 59% and Schiaparelli's on 97%. While Luigi closing in on Verstappen as well. Don't know where to look with this. While Luigi closing in on Verstappen. Belgian now trying to size up a move. This is going to be done the old-fashioned F1 way. While Luigi tries to close in on Verstappen. Of course, no DRS open with the wet conditions actually out on track. Luigi just track extends slightly out of Stowe. I think the official guidance coming into this race for Stowe was you can put 2 wheels over the AstroTurf, onto the AstroTurf, otherwise you might pick up a penalty. I think that's the official advice that was given through Discord, certainly, that I was picking up on before the race actually began. Lap 14, Schiaparelli still leads, 6/10 the gap, Spine in second. Montana though is closing down in third, 1.2 seconds between them as LTU Tom is off, and that is through turn 2. Tom has left the session. Unfortunately he has to give up. He's still got points to fight for, I'm sorry, but he's still got points to fight for. That could have easily been something like he could have recovered from, but obviously VSC has been deployed as a result of him leaving that session. Not really the most professional way to go out of a race. You can obviously retire in the pits is my favourite thing to do, to be honest. But Schiaparelli leads the way. Let's see how it all pans out in after this VSC. Second VSC of the race, Schiaparelli out in front, Spine in second, Montana third, Verstappen fourth, Luigi in fifth. Everyone going to stick to their deltas, of course, and stay within the green. That's what everyone has done as we get back underway once again. Schiaparelli has been closed down slightly by Spine, and Montana in fact has closed down them both under the VSC, judged that to perfection. Schiaparelli though still leading the way, Spine in second. Top 3 is the one we're going to ride on board with now. Check it from Montana's point of view. The Swiss man now chasing down his fellow countryman, and Schiaparelli just ahead the German. Doing a great job for the VRT team. VRT, of course, very unlucky in the mini-league, which I was covering on Wednesday. There's no mini-league coming up this Wednesday if you do want to tune in. It's the 6th of November if you do want to tune in for that and follow me around as well. Schiaparelli, though, leading the way. Spine in second. Just a little bit too much curb there for Montana. Had a bit of a moment. Not as much of a moment as Spine, who goes too deep into the village section. Tries to hang it down the inside. Montana around the outside though, and he's surely not going to complete this on the traction round the outside. Oh, that is a great move. Capitalises on Spine's mistake. The fellow countryman struggling in the conditions, and Montana has waltzed around the outside. Beautiful move, and he's up to P2, and he can now focus his attentions on trying to win this race and trying to get Schiaparelli, who's 1.2 seconds ahead of him, And Montana pulling off a great move around the outside. He gets the move done through entry, that was. On the exit of entry onto the Wellington straight. Gets the move done, he's up to P2. Nice stuff there by the champ. The Ciappellelli leads the way. Rain still falling down here at Silverstone. Has been a very wet and soggy day in most parts of the country as well here in the UK. Luckily not up where I live. Luigi chasing down Verstappen now. This is for P4. Belgian always looking to get close to the Dutchman ahead. But not close enough down into Stowe. We'll cut back on board with Montana, who is really wanting this. Goes a little bit too deep into Club. Into Vale, I should say. I'm getting the two mixed up, you can probably appreciate that. Vale, that was. Now through Club, just takes a little bit too much curve again. On to lap 16. Ciappellelli leads the way. Montana second, Spine in third. Verstappen in fourth. While Luigi in fifth, chasing them down. Through turn one they go. While Luigi again, trying to look for a move. Locks up into the corner, gets the car stopped though, that's what we like to see. You can clearly see where the line that everyone is following is. Oh, Ciappellelli picks up a 3-second time penalty. Let's have a look at the penalties actually. Ciappellelli has got that 5-second time penalty and another penalty as well. Montana has got a 5-second time penalty. Spine is the only one that hasn't really got any penalties out of the top three. He's back on the back of Montana. He's losing time to Montana, in fact. 3 seconds for Verstappen, while Luigi's got a warning. Daka has got a 5-second time penalty. Rick has got a warning. Neil has got 5 seconds. Gary Donegan has got a penalty. Killer Blue has got a penalty. YHYY's got a penalty. V5HRL's got a penalty. Tom's AI, we can not focus on that. We'll focus on Larkin. Drive through and a penalty for him, which I think he has already served. As Neil has got the move done on Rick, that's through Cops. Must have been down the inside of Cops there. Neil was through and he's up to P7. We're back on board with the battle for the lead though. Montana hunting down Ciappellelli. What is Ciappellelli going to do? Is he going to try and back up Montana, I wonder, into Spine, and then possibly bring Verstappen and Waluigi into play? Obviously it's going to be interesting what he does. Both on relatively similar ERS deployments at the minute. 100% actually for Ciappellelli at the end of the lap. Montana on 92%, that was, coming through Vale and onto the start of the lap. So very close between these two in terms of ERS, very close between these two out on track. Who is going to make the mistake first, I think, is what we're going to see. Is Waluigi is down the inside of Verstappen. That is into entry, that is into the club section, village, and he gets the move done. Eventually got there. Waluigi has got the move done, times it to perfection, and Verstappen just loses the car off the back end. Waluigi's through though, down the inside of Village, and he's up into P1. Montana just goes a little bit too deep going into Brooklands. Trying to prioritise the run out of the corner, of course, the Swiss man, chasing down the German. Spine's getting closer as well, just in behind, on his debut race here in League of Europe. To think he is a debutant and is performing this well is phenomenal. Great stuff so far from the Dutchman out on track, and I've got to say, it is great stuff going on out on track with Ciappellelli, Montana and Spine, the top three. While Luigi now into fourth as a result of that move. Montana once again getting close to Ciappellelli here. Not going to be close enough, I don't think, into Stowe. 3.5 tenths though. This is going to be a little bit closer than our first thought. Montana not going to be close enough down into Stowe. Try to think about the move, but doesn't get the move done, and Ciappellelli and Montana just slightly have a bit of a coming together really there. Doom is saying debut this season, he finished third in the first season, so thank you very much for keeping me on that. And Nova Furious is coming in and saying come on Shape, so clearly support there in the Shape count as well. And we're on to lap 18 out of 26, 9 laps to go here in, 8 laps to go, am I right? 8 laps to go, yeah, 8 laps to go here in Silverstone. Montana very late on the brakes, contacts the back end of Ciappellelli. Ciappellelli must have felt that, and Spine now is back into contention. So Ciappellelli, Montana and Spine once again, and Montana, with that little bit of a moment, just had a bit of a knock. He does apologise to him, I think they're out on track, trying to get heat back into those tyres. And Montana, let's see how everyone is looking. Now they're on 9 lap or 10 lap old Inters. They'll get to the end, I think. They don't honestly go off that much here in due to the tyre wear in Silverstone, but Ciappellelli leads the way. Montana second, Spine in third, while Luigi Verstappen fourth and fifth. Daka, Neil, Rick, Gary Donegan and Killer Blue still in the top 10. But here we go once again. Larkin has finally gone past Bullet Boy's AI car. So he's got the move done on him and he's up to P14. Montana right on the back now of Ciappellelli, looking close enough. 2.5 tenths onto the hanger straight. Montana getting close. The Swiss man trying to lunge it down the inside. Very late down the inside. Surely that's an overcommitment into the corner, but it's not. He gets the move done. Fantastic stuff for Montana down the inside of Stowe. Ciappellelli tries to come back at him down the inside. That inside line, though, not going anywhere. Montana sails it on the brakes down the inside into Stowe. Brilliant move. And on to lap 19, he takes the lead of the race, but it's still very, very close now. Montana, the champ, takes the lead of the race here in Silverstone. Ciappellelli in second, Spine in third, but I have got to be honest, that rain, I feel, might be getting heavier out on track, which means, obviously, are we going to get wet compound of tyres before the end of the race? Remains to be seen. Does anybody further down the field go for a bit of a punt on the wets? Remains to be seen. Daka has lost a lot of time to Verstappen as Neil begins to chase him down. So the Scotsman under pressure now from the German, and Neil actually recovering really well in this race. He was 10th earlier on. He's got past the likes of Gary Donegan and Rick, made them look easy. Now down the inside of Daka possibly. A little bit of connection issue possibly going on there for Daka. He has dropped to 1 bar. Neil's fine on my screen, yeah. So Daka's connection just dropping slightly. If he is listening, try and get that sorted if you can. As Neil tries to prioritise the run through Luffield, and now down into Cox. Looks like his connection is stabilised for now. And once again, we see the AIs begin to battle out further down. Bullet Boy's AI has gone past Tom's AI. So Bullet Boy now to 14th, Tom into 15th. Just a little bit of an update on that little AI non-human battle that's going on further down the field. But Neil looking close here to Daka. Look at the run. Trying to size up the overtake. He's in ERS mode 4, which means this is overtake mode. Down the inside goes Neil. Lunges it. Daka holding firm around the outside of Stowe and keeps the move. Fair play to Daka. Gets the move done. Traction is there on the outside of the corner. And Daka, on the outside, keeps the position from Neil. But for how long? Because inevitably this is all going to kick off. And Neil will be right on the back, and in fact Rick is beginning to get right onto the back of these as well. 51% of ERS, the around same ERS levels. Neil looks a bit more tidier on the ERS with 57% going into Village, and then through now into Village. And Montana leads the way by a second. Ciappellelli second, Spine in third. We have got 7 laps to go, including this one. 6.5 if you are being picky for the leaders. Neil now sizing up a move on Daka. Not going to lunge it down the inside. Nearly overcommits himself into the corner, but Neil trying to find a way past desperately. This is where, of course, he got the move done earlier on. I do believe it was on Killer Blue he got the move done, if I remember, earlier on in the race. Neil trying again to get the move done. Spine has picked up his first penalty out on track, so that changes things out front in terms of the penalties. However, I still think it's going to be going Spine's way as long as there's no more penalties being picked up by anyone in that top 3. And while Luigi and Verstappen are getting closer, Luigi's certainly getting closer. 2.3 seconds, that gap was 3 seconds consistently the last couple of laps or so. Neil now trying to size up a move on Daka once again. We should see this. Neil now forced to the outside line. This is where the traction's going to be though. Smart move from Neil if he can try and get this around the outside on Daka. Just overcommits it and onto the AstroTurf he runs a little slightly. And he's not getting the move done, but Daka's definitely holding them up, and Rick is into this as well. So 3-way battle for 7th. For 6th, sorry, now beginning to develop. Go back on board with Spine, who was chasing down Ciappellelli. Montana now beginning to pull away. 2.1 seconds out in front. pretty much 5.5 laps to go here in Silverstone in Division 1 of League of Europe. And Montana leads, Ciappellelli is in second, Spine in third, Waluigi fourth, and look at him, he is hunting them down. I've got to be honest, Waluigi has been very, very cool here with the ERS. 90% of ERS coming into Brooklands, 5.5 laps to go. Waluigi might be out for an outside chance of maybe even getting this race win. Remains to be seen. Neil right on the back of Dakar. Now down into Luffield. Down through Brooklands now into Luffield. And Neil's right on the back once again. The Scotsman defending well from the German. Rick in behind as well, the Finn. Trying to get him. The spray being kicked up consistently here out on track. Rain still teaming down here at Silverstone. Pretty much like it has been like in real life, I would imagine, with the Midlands getting hit the worst of the rain today in real life. Montana leads the way, and I did promise that I was going to give a few updates on the F1 as well. Let me give you the latest update on the Formula 1. I will give an update towards the end of the session as well. Neil's right on the back of Dakar though in the meantime. Stroll, Magnussen, Grosjean, Russell and Kubica all out of Q1, and at the end of Q2 Perez, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Raikkonen and Giovinazzi all out of Q2. So Q3, and I've got to be honest, I've seen the timings and there's a full second separating the top 10 out of Q2. So we are pushing the end. It's going to be near the end of qualifying as well. We'll try and give you a big update on that towards the end of this race. Neil nearly into the back of Dakar there, while Luigi is right on the back of Spine now for P3. And is this going to be a potential race win for either of them? Let's have a check on the penalties again. While Luigi just runs out wide a little bit through Luffield, that was. He has picked up a penalty. Spine has obviously picked up a penalty as well, so they're even. Ciappellelli with a 5-second penalty and another penalty is at 8 seconds, and Montana with 5 seconds. Gonna be very close. This is gonna be nip and tuck between whether the guys with the penalties get the win or whether the guys without the penalties or with limited penalties are going to win this race either. It's gonna be nip and tuck pretty much all the way to the line from now on. Montana leads the way once again here in Silverstone. Track just beginning to get a little bit brighter, I've got to be honest, and that is not because I've been cleaning my glasses either. Montana leads the way by 3.3 seconds. Ciappellelli is in second. At the minute it's not enough for Spine to win this race. He's just out by about 1/10 of a second, I count that as, and I think he is losing more time as well. Neil again still right on the back of Rick. Sorry, Rick's right on the back of Neil. Neil's right on the back of Dakar, who is holding on for 6th place. There's a strong drive from the Scotsman. Position changes towards the end of the race. While Luigi, I think, is going to be getting drive of the day, to be honest. 10 positions gained from the Belgian, and is going to consolidate 2nd position in the championship here tonight. And he is lining up a move now. That is through Village, and he's got the move done, I think, as well. Luigi, it's Spine on the outside line. Bit of a rhyming slang going on there. Waluigi down the inside, not quite. Spine holds it firm. Waluigi will have the traction. Can he switch back onto the inside? Not quite. Spine takes the inner line and he gets the move done. But look at the traction off the corner. Waluigi gets the better run out of Luffield. And once again on the run down towards Copse. The old turn 1 with 3.5 laps to go. It is all to play for between these two for the final podium position. Possibly out on track. Montana, 3.7 seconds, is pulling away. Ciappellelli in second. These two look clear now, I think, of Spine and Waluigi. Verstappen, Dakar and Neil again looking close. Neil has got to be on it. I've got to be honest, Neil has got to try and go for a move somewhere out on track. He has got to try and bring out a weakness in Dakar to try and get this move done. He can't be sitting behind him for too much longer. He has got to try and get the move done. Is this it coming out of Stoll? Is this it coming out of Beckett, sorry, and then into Stoll. Neil now getting close, getting close, getting close. And again the German doesn't decide to go for the move. But I've got to be honest, he's got to go for it soon. He's going to have Rick right on the back of him as well. Well, Luigi is back on the back of Spine. 3 laps to go in Silverstone, and Montana leads the way still. Ciappellelli is in second, while Luigi down the inside, gets the move done. Down the inside into Village. Waluigi, the Belgian, is up to third place. Great stuff. And capitalises on Spine's slow entry through turns 1 and 2. Waluigi gets the traction and gets the move done. He's up to P3. Fantastic stuff. Been a lot of good moves here so far in Silverstone. So with 3 laps to go, anything can still happen. Everyone's still going strongly out on track. Min in the mid-pack beginning to battle. Neil now is side by side with Daka. Surely this is it for Neil. Down the inside into Brooklands. Daka's got to give way, I think. Neil parks it on the apex. Beautiful judgment there by Neil. Gets the move done. Patience pays off for Neil, and he's up to P6. Good move. And he's making his way still further up the field. Daka now can possibly hold up Rick a little bit. But it's going to be quite close towards the end of the race. 2.5 laps to go. Sorry, 1.5 laps. No, 2.5 laps to go. What am I on about? Goodness me, Montana still leads the way. Schiaparelli second, Waluigi third. They run down now into the final couple of corners. Montana 4.5 seconds clear. That is Tom's AI car ahead. Tom's AI car is ahead out on track, which bears no concern for the leader. Schiaparelli in second, Waluigi third. All gone a little bit quiet now. Spine trying to chase down Waluigi. For somebody that hasn't driven in the wet before, this is a good debut performance this season, certainly from Spine, who of course did finish third in the first season of League of Europe, which I was thankfully informed by June, which I much appreciate. Verstappen getting closer to Spine, 2 seconds the gap, but pretty much remain consistent. Gary Donegan now being overtaken by Killer Blue. That's down the inside of turn 1, and the Williams has got that move done. Down the inside into turn 1. Gary Donegan obviously having a poor run out of the final corner at Club. And Killer Blue says thank you very much to that. Gets the move done. He's up to P9. And the Ferrari now down to P10. Gary Donegan pretty much didn't see that one coming, but Killer Blue making a nice impression. He's gained 6 positions, as has Gary Donegan. Good performances by them both. Killer Blue up to 9th place, gets the move done. Everyone's spreading themselves out nicely now. Looks like we're pretty much going to be seeing the order as it is. Of course, penalties will interfere with the race result. Montana, though, leads the way. 5.5 seconds the gap. Schiaparelli in second, Waluigi in third. We are about to go on to the final lap here in Silverstone. And what a race it has been. Not too much full of drama, but too much full of changing conditions here in Silverstone, which is typical British weather, as we all know by now. Montana 5.5 seconds. He's going to consolidate this race win, I think. Onto the final lap he goes. The champ leads the way onto the final lap, and looking good out on track so far is Montana. He's onto the final lap now. TTX5 saying that Ferrari has a wet setup. He does have a wet setup, but Waluigi doing a great job, I've got to say, and he is closing in actually on Schiaparelli, 1.9 seconds. And Gary Donegan, obviously, the other Ferrari as well, 1.1 seconds. Dry setup, I think, might just work a little bit more, a little bit better, to be honest, around these tracks. That's what I would choose. I mean, I'm a plain, all boring commentator now instead of a league racer, so that's probably why I don't really have judgment on that, to be honest. But Montana leads the way, 6 seconds the gap, and he is going to consolidate another win here out on track. Is he going for the fastest lap, I wonder, as well? Tokyo drifts it through Copse there for the final time. Rick pressurising Daka though for 7th place. We're going back on board with Montana in about 20 seconds time, about across the line, when he's about to come across the line, as Rick right on the back of Daka, both a little bit sideways out of Luffield. Rick now closing in on Daka once again, not going to be close enough for the move down into Copse. That's Neil just ahead as well. Daka once again under pressure from Rick, but in the meantime Montana will come back on board with that battle. Montana is about to come across the line to consolidate his championship once again. Montana through the final corner, follows up on his race win in Austria last week, follows up again, takes it in Silverstone, But 5-second time penalty added on. Ciappellelli will be the same. The penalties are going to change. Ciappellelli across the line in second, while Luigi will get second as a result of his 3 seconds. Spine across the line gets podium on his debut this season. Good performance from him. Verstappen across the line in 5th. Neil's going to be coming across the line in 6th. Dakar is hanging on for grim light from Rick, who wants to try and get this move done very late on. It's not going to be enough. Neil across the line in 6th. Dakar in 7th. Rick actually gains into 6th, so good performance from him. Gains 11 positions. Killer Blue across the line in 9th. Gary Donegan across the line in 10th. YHYY up to 9th as a result of penalties. V5HRL about to come across the line now in P12. He's going to pick up the final points. Good performance from him. V5HRL across the line in 12th. And Larkin, well, the less we say about his early part of the race, the better, really. He's got the car home, though, which is a big, big plus for him. And Larkin's going to be coming across the line in P13, the racing point. Of course, official, unofficial results about to come up. The podium celebration's also about to come up. And Montana takes the win here in Silverstone. And again, adds another 25 points, at least, to the championship. Once again. The point I'm trying to make is his chance of spinning out with 0 with that wet setup. Ask him after the race. Yeah, definitely. I think, obviously, dry setup, obviously, well, we have seen a couple of spinners out on track tonight, maybe with the wet setup, but that was during the dry period out on track. That was exhausting to his spine. Larkin saying all of that driving by myself and not even a damn point, but at least you finished. Keep calm and carry on, I think, is the main mantra you can take out of this race, as we get to the end of qualifying of the race here in Silverstone. I'm just looking at qualifying. There's about a couple of minutes left in qualifying if you do want to catch it. Montana takes the race win here, though, on the official, unofficial result, while Luigi gets second. Driver of the day for me. Spine in 3rd, Ciappellelli in 4th, Verstappen 5th, Rick in 6th, Neo in 7th, Dakar in 8th, YHYY in 9th, Killer Blue in 10th, Gary Donegan in 11th, and V5HRL in 12th. They fill out the points. Larkin in 13th, Bullet Boy in 14th, and Tom, they obviously won't count their positions. They'll be counted as a DNF, I think. Doom, Cantera, the 2 Spaniards, and Kuki Games out very early on in the race. But Mexican qualifying is going on. There's a lot going on there. Currently, if I can get up 3 minutes, about 3 minutes ago this came through, Verstappen on provisional pole at the minute, Leclerc, Vettel, Hamilton. I'm not sure how true that is now, but that's from 3 minutes ago. So, obviously a lot happening out on track. But thank you very much for watching here in League of Europe. I'm going to catch the end of qualifying myself. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Division 2's on if you do want to come back and watch that. Sadly I won't be there, but there we go. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.